Alright. So this is my setup. They are both purple, it's very true. Anyway, I just want to get this out of the way. I've watched this whole run twice. On Tuesday, I kind of watched it, like, stopping and trying to figure out, like, I did a dry run of the VOD review, and it took me, like, 40 minutes to an hour. So hopefully we can, make this... Well, I guess, taking some time to explain things is not super insane. But we'll be here for a hot second. I think we have a lot of content. Again, I should say this ahead of time. I should probably also update my stream shit, shouldn't I? Say stream information. Reviewing VODs. Update. Cool, we're reviewing VODs now. Yeah, no, as on the whole, this run is very good. Again, 12:15. When the game came out, this would have been like a very, very good second place on speedrun.com. Like, far in second place. And in general, the play is pretty good. I think that when I was around the same level of skill, I was probably making many of the same decisions. So I think for me, looking at a Raspberryfloof VOD is kind of like looking into the past. Except I think Raspberryfloof might play faster than I did at that point in time. Because she can actually do 75 CPM, and at that point, I think, but even by the time I got world record, low 70 was about where I was capping out. Usually 70. I actually went through and counted my clears in the Hyper Lillibri fight in the world record VOD, and it was 70 clears per minute, basically, exactly. Yeah, I guess the main focus here is going to be like what you do when you're making decisions with the board. That's sort of like seeing patterns that are often missed, I guess, until you get to the top level. Although I should preface this, of course, by saying that Raspberryfloof is now a top-level player. Again, the meteoric rise here has been incredible to watch. So I'm glad that I could be along for the ride. All right, so let's start with the horse. Okay. So the Yosodi, I think the general thing that you said about this originally, and that I also found to be true when I watched it, is you did a blistering opener and then kind of didn't follow up. So let's take a look at what we start out with here. Also, let me know if the sound in the game is like not loud enough or something like that. Okay. One thing I would like to point out here though is that instead of getting like this purple is kind of an interloper here, right? This purple at G5. So you have this blue, this one right here. And what I would probably have done in this position is like from here, right? If you push this yellow, which is what you did, then you can push this blue up and then push this blue over, and then you just have like a straight line already. You don't have to worry about these purples anymore. So this is just like kind of like being able to look at what you have originally, and like, yeah, so this is easier to see. Being able to look at your initial board and trying to figure out like what are the easy ways to start building your opener. You're going to get this purple out of here anyway. I think that maybe the next thing you might want to do here, you can get the greens out. I guess if you had done this, then you would have still been able to take these greens as a 3, and then push this red up here. Yeah. Hey Juicy, what's up? Yeah, we're reviewing VODs. Hopefully it is exciting, man. I don't know. We already got arrows. Yeah. Anyway, so this is just like when I see that kind of initial board. Yeah, I think taking this greens here was maybe premature, but otherwise, again, like, when we watch the opener unfold, you'll understand why I think this is probably not a big problem. One other thing, which actually, again, in this case would have made your chain worse, but normally is something you would think about. So when you have this kind of formation right here, what you did is you took this purple and you moved it down like this. So in general, if you're looking to build a compact chain, you kind of want to avoid moves like this. So in this case, you have the purple up here. You should move this down first, and then you move this over. Right? And then you'll have the two purples lined up right here. So this is kind of like if you do a bunch of turn trials, you'll probably pick up on this pretty quickly. But the sort of what kind of, yeah, these are like kind of moves that you have to think about both like using as few moves as possible, but also preserving compactness where possible. Those two things together will sort of, I think, make a big difference in your play for relatively little investment. Anyway, that's just something, of course, that's like you pick it up over time. If you try turn trials, that might be, you know, again, something where this comes up. Of course, time trials are also a great place to think about this kind of thing. But in this case, the fact of the matter is the thing that you did was actually still better. And that's because we'll see why. So you were able to get the purple out, and then you do this insane 11 chain to open up. And if you notice here, the reason why it ended up being better to do that is because leaving this purple up here actually caused a tempo saver over here. So the tempo saver here is that this green, you could have pushed this up to complete the chain. That would have actually made your chain shorter because this green would have spawned in over here as well. But instead, this blue over here pushes the green up, and then this completes the chain going up this way. So again, the opener, insane. You took, I think, 12, but then returned all of that and sent 20 at the end of it. Or no, it was 7. Yeah, the tempo saver was great. So that, again, that's why I said, like, in general, you want to think about those kind of compactness moves, but in that case, you 100% did the correct thing. Okay, so now this is again where things start to slow down. So make one link and grow. Yeah, thank you, Juicy, for the Xerxes mugs. So I think one thing that you still have to watch out for, though, is like this whole area of your board is kind of checkerboarded still. Maybe before growing in too much, just like kind of rearranging that is just something to think about. In general, what does that look like? So you have these like this like diagonal area over here, right? If you shift everything over here then you just lined up a whole bunch of things. So this is what I was talking about in the Discord, sort of about like looking for the double diagonal here, because you have a bunch of them or a bunch of diagonals lined up in a row. And the other thing about this particular formation is if you move all this stuff over, right, you're going to get at least a sandwich over here with the greens and the blues. This purple can go over here, and now you've got like a huge warhead hanging out. Like this is a ton of petals that's ready to go like immediately. You move this purple over here maybe, and then sorry, that's a yellow. What am I saying? And then if you move this over, you plop that red up here, then you could probably get this red into this position. And then you have like a whole bunch of, like, you could, any trigger you find in here is now like a 5 chain worth like 20 garbage. So this is like the sort of collapsing and unfolding these like diagonals. That's going to be something that I think is a, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing is like the checkerboarding is usually not good. So yeah, it's something that you might want to forget about and think about later. There's 2 reasons why that's not great, and if Runaspism is here, he would also go into this, I think. But if you just leave the checkerboarding alone, it kind of becomes dead area. And what that means is that it's like not only not usable for putting together attacks, but also not usable for tanking garbage. And you can't use it to defend yourself. If garbage shows up in the middle of it, basically that whole area is just totally dead. At the same time, checkerboarding sometimes gives you good patterns, right? Like, again, this pattern is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. Or sorry, let me draw around it instead of being a dummy. So this pattern is exactly the kind of thing that we want to see, because this, again, you could line this up to get a triple sandwich. And the putting together the actual triple sandwich here is not that easy. But, you know, you could even do something like a half and half, where you push these over, right? Like these 4 petals over, and then you push this yellow up, like that. And now you have the sandwich over here, and then it goes into the yellows over there. And even if you clean up this area, you could get extension on these blues. Like, there's like a whole bunch of stuff you could do with this top area. And all of this kind of relies on you having a few open spaces to shove petals into, basically. So that's why, like, if you don't see something like immediately on this board, you just start growing. Like, these opportunities will quickly close themselves off. So that's why, like, sometimes when I'm playing and I say, like, oh, that was a bad grow, usually what that means is that I realize I've closed off opportunities by doing it. So that 5, again, it sent a little bit of garbage, but when you have that many petals close together, you want to make that part of a chain. Okay, nothing much to talk about here. Again, this is all kind of the same thing where, like, you kind of took your foot off the gas here. It allowed you to recover. This 3 chain is good. It was fast. The spawners kind of gave it to you. Okay, here's another area down here. You have another, like, pretty open... Yeah, no, I mean, I've been there. I've definitely been there. So you move these 2 over, you collapse this against the wall, you're good. Then you actually can move this green and get a sandwich, or you can move it over here. Actually, this is even better. If you move this over, then you uncover a bow over here as well. So you do, B1L, C1L, and then D2D, E2D, and then you can actually move this over and turn this sideways, and then you have like a huge chain along the bottom of the board. Drop this yellow down from over here. You're in business. Right? I don't know. So let's see what happens. Another area over here of sort of the diagonals, lined up diagonals. Actually, you have a lot of them. There's 5. I don't necessarily mean that you have to make use of all 5, but again, this is something where, like, you just have a lot of power hanging out here and you're not doing anything with it. Ugh. So by doing that grow, you kind of close off this, like, you know, area to, you know, being able to clean it up with the chain. Otherwise, I mean, if you pull this out and then you stash these greens down here, do something about these purples, then you could have like a, you know, 4 chain along the bottom. That's not too bad. It looks like you're kind of going for that here. But again, you have to, like, yeah. I mean, it's not that they're not useful, but one thing to think about in particular with those is, like, I mean, you could tell I probably look for them more than I should as well, which I think Rego has made note in, you know, the chat or various other things that I like to do boomerangs, basically. Like, boomerang is a chain formation that I utilize way too much, probably. And in essence, I think part of that is just that I also look for those V-shapes. There's downsides, of course, and the downside is that they are easily broken up, right? They're kind of organic. They show up a lot in the because of spawners. But again, the other half of that coin is that you lose them pretty easily if you don't take care of them fast enough. All in all, again, like, not bad. I mean, for fighting a level 7, that's like, way more than you need to do. 130 is not a bad time. You're ahead of world record right now. That's what I love saying. Whenever anyone has a first stage, again, in world record, first stage was 150. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so this is another thing that's kind of like the compactness moves stuff that you'll sort of figure out, again, by like doing something like playing turn trial. So here you grow in, but you actually had pretty easy extension here, which is to say you move this yellow down to here, and then this green down to here, and this green over here. You didn't have to grow yet. This is like a compact extension as well. Your next couple moves are easy. I think you can get these blues, like this one over here and this one over here, or you can use this red up here and this red over here. You know, there's like a lot of ways you can continue to extend this chain. And you still haven't even dealt with this area at the other side yet. I mean, here is, you know, you could take this and then this, and that's how you have a compact extension here. There's like a lot of stuff you can do with this board, I think. So here it looks like, yeah, you grow in, you're looking for stuff, you get stuck, then your chain is ruined by a spawner, which is unfortunate. I think the chain you end up doing is like not bad. And you have a follow-up, which is not bad. This area is a little bit spooky. Just kind of this checkerboarding. Again, it's full of these diagonal shapes, but in this circumstance, there's like no bracing over here. You have to get stuff out of here, you have to use a lot of moves, so it's like less useful. But I mean, this is what happens when you grow a lot, kind of. Alright, this is fantastic. I don't know if you saw every link, and that was great. Okay, instead of growing here, you had a sandwich, basically. That was like 2 moves. Basically, you move this over here, and then you move this over here. And then you can like grow in, you can set up with these purples maybe, like here and here. That, I think, would have probably been, like, it would have added some more power to this part of the board. Yeah, well, the 5th link was like a T boomerang that, you know, again, those are really hard to see in the middle of chains. But yeah, that was pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I think this grow is a little bit premature. I think this grow in particular, or the first grow is fine. The second grow, I think, was pretty premature. So here, if you want to set up that same sandwich, you have to like knock this stuff down. That's fine. But then you have to kind of deal with this in some way that's like a little bit claustrophobic. It's not, you know, terrible, but it's this part of your board is also totally useless now, for the time being. So there's, you know, some stuff there. Yeah, I don't know what exactly you were looking for here. Okay, so in this case, yeah, let's see if you... Well, let's see what you did here for a second, before going back with this. Okay, that's good. The loop was a good move there. So in this case, you had a pretty free +1 by doing 1 and then 2. If you want to get really fancy, you could do a boomerang over here by shifting these 2 around and then setting it off with this green at D6. You take stuff and follow up, that's like not awful. Fine moves, fine moves. Okay, you're looking for this blue, I assume. That doesn't work because of a corner case, but, you know, I figured what you were trying to do. Yep, that's all good. It looked like you wanted to move that green up, but then accidentally knocked it out of the way. Happens. Okay, takes the sandwich. See, this is like, the board here is like very checkerboarded, and I think it's making it harder for you to actually find stuff. Didn't matter that much. If I remember right, this was like a 125, maybe, something like that. 132, okay. Yeah, again, these times are fine. This is all stuff that you want to, like, be doing. I don't know. Alright, so we have Orchid. This opener is actually fine. That was good. You found some stuff here. So I think in this case... yeah. Tell me about that. In this case, I think what you might want to look into here is that you have this that can be unfolded into some stuff that's not bad. Or actually, I guess this is before you set off that chain, yeah. Okay. So right after this, I think you grow. You can move this red over and then this up. And this sets up for your next chain. Because you have this blue over here, so you can like move some stuff out of the way. Then you set up these blues. The greens come into it right after that. Like you can have two greens lined up over here. So this is like a 5-chain waiting to happen up in the corner. It's kind of busted up now. So again, more like stuff with the sandwiches over here. So if you move, let's see, you probably move that. Okay, you don't move that out of the way that I expected you to. But in this case, like instead of taking that right away, well, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But like this stuff is like a sandwich, also waiting to happen here. If you just shift all of these over one, that should be fine. And then, so one thing that is, one thing that is going to be, maybe take some time to learn after that is, getting, like, the next extension afterwards. So the thing about sandwiches is that you can't really set them up from the side, or the third link, the third, like, pair from the side, because that just sets it off. So you have to set it up, like, if you tried to use this green here, like if you had the red here and the blue here, and you wanted the greens here, right? You can't just like push this over to make this compact. You have to find it from the other direction. So in this case, you would try to maybe get this green up here. And that would, you know, allow you to start extending this way as well. So in this case, it would probably mean taking this yellow down here. So yeah, you get this over here. You probably want this yellow like down here, and then this purple. The other thing you could try to do is set up from this purple, or from this yellow around here. Something like that. It's a little bit, you know, more around the board kind of thing. But again, this like, I try to look for these like formations of, you know, petals that I can get a lot of out of at once. And then, you know, try and figure out what I can do with them. Some other chains on the board that are interesting, I think, moving this purple down and this red over, and then you have this 3-chain lined up right here. And then actually, if you like rotate this stuff around, then you can get the blues into this spot. That's a 4-chain. Yeah, there's some stuff going on this board. Okay, that was good. Nice boomerang. I hope I'm not going too fast, by the way. If it sounds like I'm going too fast, please, good tempo saver to get those greens involved with the T-split. Yeah, if I'm going too fast, please, you know, stop me. This is a great chain here. Absolutely kills on the battle bar. Just gets a lot of petals involved. Ideally, you want to make those as long as you can as well, just because they have so much stuff going on. So when you see huge groups like this, again, try not to set them off immediately. Try and set them off from somewhere else. So in this case, I think well, let's see. Getting this red into this position so that you can actually take this is like, you know, kind of tough. You just can't do that. Now that I think about it. But I think unless you're like digging, just kind of cleaning this group up, like, doesn't really help you a lot. Like, I think you can actually try to do like chains on this side. Like this, for example, is like a chain here, and then maybe this stuff going into this is another chain. H7. You talking about this one right here? Oh, it's just like getting any red into this slot is going to require, like, you can't send it in from the up or the right, and if you send it in from the other two sides, you'll just start popping stuff. So that's like not really what you're looking for either. No, this is just kind of a tough situation. I think that, yeah, taking the big group is like the obvious move, but yeah, I think that maybe the like better play would have been to try and like move these two things out of the way and then take this as a 3, something like that, because that's worth like way more garbage. Like, if you see, one chains are barely worth anything. This sends 3, right? So a bare 2 chain also sends 3 garbage. So that's like sort of your ballpark for how efficient the chains are. Is a bare 2 chain sends 3, then 3 sends 5, 4 sends 8, 5 sends 12. So that chain would have been a 3 chain with an extra petal. It probably would have sent 6. It just would have used your board a lot better, I think. This chain looks like it's going to be a hitter. I think you maybe could have taken the time to move this purple in here, and then move these 2 down, and then set off with this blue. So that would have actually done a bunch of stuff for you. I think you could have also moved this green over, but that's, you know, less whatever. Actually, if you move the... okay, yeah, you don't want to rotate these reds into this position over here, because if you do that, then you can't get this blue out to set the chain off. So this is a good move, though. This just adds more stuff to your chain. Or actually, no, you can do that. Okay, that is fine then. The full sequence of moves here. Yeah, no, but you have time. That's the thing. Like, Orchid is pretty gacked up here. She can't do a lot. Like, you see this garbage formation, right? There's like nothing she can do. And you're ahead on bar. That's the other thing. It may not seem like it, but you're ahead on bar. Okay. So yeah, the big chain here is you push this green over, you rotate these reds into this position at the bottom here, so that you have like the greens here and the reds here. Then you can push the green out of the way here, get this purple into there, and then this blue is free. You push it over, you do this, you're in business. Let's see, what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5 chain. It's got how many petals in it? Like 1, 2. What is this? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's worth 20, I think. That's like an instant win. I mean, what you did is not bad. It's just this I guess is less of a, like, you know, move, like whether or not the moves are correct issue, because I think situationally your moves were fine, but it's more of like a game awareness issue. So that, I guess, in any other situation, I would have said that, like, what is it? Okay. If you weren't literally about to win, then I would have said instead of pushing that yellow, you actually had this move, which turns this whole thing into a 3-chain. Right, so that's actually, you know... Yeah. Those are, a lot of those are moves that you just miss at the time. But I implore you, when you look at stuff, like when you're about to push a pedal like that to set something off, just look around it and see if there's anything free. That's, again, how I find a lot of extensions. Like, when you see me go snaking back and forth across the board, that's usually what I'm doing. As if, man. Good April Fool's joke. How are you doing tonight, Wodeck? Alright, this chain's looking good. You're obviously finding the importance of corner chains even, like, not along the wall here, because this keeps stuff compact. Which, again, is, I think, great. Because you already did this earlier today, man. Anyway, this chain is fantastic. Really fast, good setup. Very compact, honestly, great. Okay. Again, more of this. This is going to be the refrain of the night, which is, after you did that, pushing this red out of the way. Rough, dude. Nah, there's some people know when my birthday is, not then. So, well, okay, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? You had some stuff here that was you know, could have extended this by a lot. One of them was moving this yellow over. The other one was moving these three things over, right? And if you did this, it would have been a 2-chain, and then you absolutely should have looked for a follow-up, because then it becomes absolutely insane. Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You're right. Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. After you find those purples, you move these two over, maybe something like this. You grow in to get this yellow. Now look where you are. Actually, you might not even need to at this point, because this is 7 moves away, I think. So then you have a chain that is like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-chain, but it has a triple sandwich and a T-split on one side and another sandwich on the 4th link. This is an absolutely mind-blowing chain if you can get rid of it, if you can follow that up. That I think is oh god, I don't even know how much that is. Let's take a look. So that's going to be 4, 6, 12, 14, 18 petals on a 4-chain. Let's take a quick look at the wiki. And what did I say again? 14 petals on a 4-chain? Yeah, that sends 15 damage. So their board is already like, you see there's like a lot of garbage already because your opener was cracked. But they, like, that would have put the game away if you had followed up with that chain. Like, this would have been a sub-minute game, probably. Another, like, sort of free real estate, like, miss here, which is you move this down and then immediately took it. But once you move this down, then you have the follow-up on the blues. Just, like, extra link for free. Okay. This is another formation that is very powerful here. So here you grow in. Yeah. So here you grow in, right? And then you move this purple out of the way. But you have, after this move that gives you kind of the tempo to set this up, you have the most powerful formation in all of Petal Crash lineup right here, which is you move this blue down by 1, and now you have a staircase. Staircases are the best chain in Petal Crash. I cannot say this enough. They are the best chain in Petal Crash. They're the best chain in Petal Crash, the best chain in Petal Crash, the best chain in Petal Crash. If you can do it, do it. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. So what makes a staircase the best chain? They are compact in both directions. Yeah. It takes time to look at all these things. They're compact in both directions, right? That's like kind of the major, I guess, benefit of a staircase is that you can pack as many links as possible. Look, it's 3 links and it's just 6 petals all together. And you already have bracing on this side so that you don't need anything else here. And then you just start adding stuff onto either here or onto here, and you're in business. Again, what do you do here? You have, like, blues. I think you put this down, and you take this blue over here, this red over here, this becomes a 5-chain in, like, 4 moves. Like, it's just the staircase is incredible. Learn it as you know, as quickly as you can. Seek these out. Okay, this is a good chain. Again, this like kind of a claustrophobic thing you can find a lot of. Yeah, hopefully, I mean, that's the point of this, right? Is not only am I helping myself find these things, because sometimes even I, like, during matches or whatever, just, like, gloss over them. And actually, one of my projects recently is trying to get better at not doing that. Okay. Here, I think... Well, let's see what you do with this. Okay. This wasn't bad. I think it was almost as good as the, like, thing I would have preferred to do here, which is move these reds, and then you just take from this 3, and this becomes a 4-chain. But I think what you did... It took it as a 3-chain, but I think it used as many petals. So it was a little less powerful, but at least on the battle bar it was fine. Or it used 1 fewer petal. So... again, like, the move you did was fine. Not optimal, but it's fine. This is all good. Yeah. Again, a lot of, like, the, you know, differences here, they're not, like, huge differences of, they're differences of degree, right? You're doing a lot of good moves, in general. And I think that it's, like, again, just kind of the sort of knowing what to look out for the next time. 143, again, like, Penny and Deanie actually waste a lot of time for me on occasion just because Penny does stuff. And when Penny starts doing stuff, she's kind of like Strelitz, and Strelitz also tends to waste a ton of time, so that's just what it is. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you're doing good moves. It's just like, what do you look for to make good moves into great moves, I think, is the, you know, the theme here. Okay, so I think, if I remember right, this opener kinda didn't... No, this opener was... Okay, alright, yes. Okay, I remember what I was gonna do here. Right, so this, I think, is another thing about power of the sandwich. So if you notice here, you immediately take this purple out and then set this off. But you had, like, way more up your sleeve here. You could have, like, put this very away very quickly. So if you move both of these up, right, you're already about to, like, you know, have this insane blockbuster chain going around the, you know, you set off from this side over here, and then you go around here. You can move this purple over and, like, try and get that yellow in there or whatever. Where do you set off this stuff? So it's a bit funny. You can, instead of moving those up immediately, you can get the greens out of the way. You move this bottom green at, what is that? F5? Yeah. You kind of move that out of the way so that you can move this down into the bottom here. And then once you have the greens lined up here, then you can push these up. And then the purple, well, I guess you'd have to probably do that first. Move the purple around. But in any event, you also have yellows. That's the other thing you can do here. So what would that look like? That would look like probably you get this out of the way, you crash these, move up, and then you just stick these like this. You have to get this blue out of here, because otherwise it'll break your chain, though. So you could do that also by moving this up and then getting rid of all this stuff, and then moving that over. But anyway, once you do that, your trigger's over here, and then you have a bunch of stuff up here that you can, you know, get these reds into place. This could have been like a, you know, huge chain. And the thing is, I mean, I don't really like. The thing is, this stage turned out to be incredible, as we'll find out. So, of course, you don't have to worry about this too much. There's another sandwich over here. This sandwich also very powerful, just because you have like a whole bunch of stuff. You move this red out of the way, you get this purple down here. You have a free 3 chain. You put this down here, it's a free 4 base, or it's not free, but it's like a 3 move 4 chain basically. And then the yellows actually come into it too, like this, or actually no, this yellow doesn't come into it. What am I saying? No, because this yellow is actually part of the sandwich here now. Blues probably would be your next. Yeah. Yeah, so you have the yellows and reds lined up over here. You have the purples lined up over here. If you can get this red somewhere out of here, then this blue suddenly becomes really powerful. Or you could get it down from over here. There's like a ton going on this board here. I mean, you're finding stuff though. That's like, you know, what matters here. Incredible chain there. So here, I know this is maybe like kind of a meme, but now you have a huge warhead hanging out in the bottom left corner here. This is a deli. This is a bona fide deli, right? You got sandwich 1, you got sandwich 2, you got these blues hanging out over here. Yeah, the chains are always totally intentional. Take credit for every single fucking chain you do. Absolutely 100% of the time. Anyway, yeah, so if you put together this deli over here, literally you just start building into this gap, and then, again, that's a game ender. The game is almost over as it is, just because like that chain you did before was so absurdly powerful that he's locked out. Or almost locked out. He's very close to locked out. One thing I will say about Strelitz, though, is you never count him out. At this point, he's totally locked out, so it's fine. I think you may have seen this, but like didn't take it or something like that. But instead of moving that yellow down, taking it from these blues is a 3 chain. You could even move this out of the way and take it from there instead. That's a 4. Again, just when you're about to move petals, look and see. Anyway, this was a sub-minute Strelitz, which any human being on planet Earth would be happy with. So, absolutely, again, when you get away with it, that's fantastic. So... Alright, the child. I love the child. My son. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not like you're doing it against, what's it called? Okay, I think that was a mispush. I think what you were going for was this, to get that green in there. I think your opener against Strelitz is really important, because... So the thing about Strelitz, about Arlet, is that, the amount of time that he spends in... Yeah, I figured it was mispush. The amount of time he spends in retaliation mode, so to speak, is actually proportional to the amount of damage you land on him. So the hitting him with small hits and hitting him with large hits are maybe not necessarily any different in terms of like he won't spend as much time in retaliation if you hit him with something really small, and then you just like lose all your advantage for that kind of thing. But the reason why we want to go for big hits against Arlet is because he is you want to basically minimize what he can do with that time, right? The best case scenario against Arlet, which the world record actually does do, does get this RNG kind of, is that Arlet, you land a big hit against Arlet, and then he starts blocking, but not countering the hit, because then you can still build up advantage and actually even send more garbage while he's doing this, and then you land something massive, and the game is basically over. So I think world record has like a 1-0-something Arlet because of this. Again, it's kind of RNG. So you can't hope for it, but again, you maximize the chances if you lead off with something super hard. So I'm actually going to suggest a different set of opening moves here. So this top area here looks super juicy. I hope Juicy's still in chat so that he can make a comment about that one. So first, what I would do is move these blues into place here. And then I want to get this red over here, but this yellow is kind of in the way, right? But I'm going to eventually get this yellow in here. So yellow comes down, red goes over. This yellow goes back up to here, then we can move this like this. So now we're at this much of the board full. We can try and get these greens involved now. So at this point, you may not even want to get the... Well, you could... The purples are free, so leaving them there is totally fine. So I think what we actually... I'm going to suggest some silly memes here, I think. Let's see. So from this point, we can try and get this green over here, maybe. That would be this. The other thing that I was thinking about was actually taking this green and this red. If you move this red out of the way, because this red's over here now, right? So this red you can actually push up and out of the way and push back later. If you have a totally empty like file, then like on controller, these kind of back and forth moves are actually not too bad because you can employ DAS. But anyway, I think that if you look at all that stuff, maybe you could even do this in like a non, compact way in the bottom here. Find something else. I think this yellow then maybe, and then this yellow over here. That'll come in. You get these greens for free. At that point, you have a chain that looks like this, and it's like a 7. Actually, it'll get knocked off by this thing. So maybe you'd have to like move this purple around or something beforehand. But in any event, there's like a 7-chain leadoff here that I don't think you find, and I think it makes the opener for this game like a little bit slow. So what do you do when you like try to fix this kind of thing? Again, like you got to move these out of the way and then move this green down. That's it. After that, you can move this purple up and out of the way and this blue over, and then you have like a little pattern that goes like this. If you can try and get these purples involved after that as well by moving this out of the way, get the purples over there, and then at that point, blue down, red over, and then putting like this blue back up and this blue over there. Now your chain looks like this. That's not bad. See, Arlet lands a hit. It's kind of annoying, but it's probably not going to do too much here. Avoid 1-chains if possible. That's the rune rule. So in this case, you should try to find something you can do with these blues. That's not this. I think what probably would have been the best thing to do here is instead of growing 1, 2, 3. That I think would have been okay. What's other stuff you can do on this board? Move this red out of the way, move the blue up, and then you have a staircase, like kinda quasi T-split going on over here. If you move the yellow down, that gets even more powerful. Then it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4 chain with a bunch of stuff going on. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, you're still... Okay, you have to remember. Until you hit Arlet with something, he does not play that fast, right? You are still even on bar. Remember that. And not only are you still even on bar, but you're way faster than the child. Don't worry about it too much. Just play the game. No, nerves are a huge part of it, though. Again, that always affects me when I'm playing, so. Alright, so I think you have a bunch of stuff here. I think if you're about to move this purple up, you're not, okay. You have a fantastic set of moves that'll, like, do a bunch of damage immediately. From this position, right? You have a, what is it? You have a red spawner. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. You don't need to worry too much about that. You move this red over and this down, and now this purple here becomes like you get like a sweet 4-chain out of it that does a whole bunch of petals. If you're even really cool, you can move this purple up, but I don't know if I would have seen that in time, and I don't know if anyone would have seen that in time. Maybe Rune. Okay, this is actually really good, though. It gets corner cased, which is not what you want, but it is what it is. Okay. For this thing, you're going to move this to the left and set it off from there. That's, like, fine. But, again, you have, like, a better move here. See if you can find it from here. I'm gonna go, I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Yeah, so, oh, I should actually be using this, shouldn't I? No, I like being able to draw off the edge of the screen. So, yeah, if you grow in, then this purple makes this whole thing into a giant 4-chain. So, that's, you know, that's the free move, here. It's great. Actually, if you grow in, I mean, again, I don't know if anyone would have found this in time. Maybe I would have found this in time. But once you move this down, here, and you grow in, then these... Oh, well, no, it doesn't actually work. That would actually be this chain, which is not what you want. Never mind. Big mistake ours. Anyway, yeah, so take it from the purples. That's, you know, that's good. This is good. This red was a little bit unfortunate, but, you know... Having those things get in the way is normal. That's a good chain. I think this play is all pretty good. Yeah, this is all good. I would, again, part of the remember the rune rule, where possible. Don't take 1-chains if you can help it. Purple, you know, once you do this stuff, then you just, you know, take that as a 2-chain. 2-chain plus 5 is like 4 damage. It's, you know, it's respectable. It's respectable. Okay. Otherwise, at this point, you've built up a bunch of advantage, so it's not, you know, you don't need to worry too much. Okay, the single most powerful proto-chain in all of Petal Crash. Right over here. So this is the double diagonal and the bow put together, basically. It serves both purposes. So here's what you can do with this. This is the thing I was trying to decide on the name for. It's going to be either the tilde or the wave or the fucking vine. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, sandwich. Right? Doesn't even need outside bracing. Not bad. Then you can also do fold 1. Right? That's 1. Fold 2, which is this, followed by this. You can project it to the wall and get a straight chain. beautiful stuff right here. You're looking at a ton of stuff. Not only that, but you have some other junk going on down here as well. So you can, yeah, once you move this yellow up, then putting this red over here and this other red over here, you're looking at a crazy chain. You could even move this, just crash this to get it out of the way, take this. Like, there's a lot going on this half of the board right here. Even then, I mean, yeah, again, this isn't super useful for, what's it called? Like, down here at the bottom isn't super useful for, like, sandwich stuff. Like, you see a double diagonal here, but it's kind of ruined by this spawner, this yellow spawner right here. Could you potentially do something else with it? Well, maybe. If you move this red up, you try to get this green in there and then move that, but that's like, I think that's too claustrophobic. If you wanted to do something else with this, you would basically be forced to take it as a 2-chain boomerang, which is like, There's a lot better stuff you can be doing with this portion of the board. Anyway, yeah, so in this case, I think it's probably, you move this up here, you get these reds into position here, this, and then take it from the purples. Or the other thing you could do is you do all the same stuff on the right there, project these to the wall, move this purple out of the way, and then take it from here. I hope you like all my arrows. This is very cool and fun. And even at that point, you could set it off from this purple, actually as a long boomerang. What would I suggest for practice? Just playing more. I didn't really... What do you think I did? I mean... This is what I did. I just played the game a lot. Yeah, otherwise, what are other shapes you could find on this board? It's kind of... There's not a ton going on here. I think the other thing you can look at is moving this over here, and then trying to get this in there, which would involve moving this other stuff out of the way. Then you have a T-split set off by this blue. It's kind of, again, claustrophobic. You have to probably do something like this. It's a little bit of a mess. Yeah, well, you have PCO, so there you go. Okay, so you do something kind of equivalent there. Again, you found like a good sequence here, especially because once you do this and you get these reds actually onto the wall. Again, this is the free real estate problem. I would love free real estate actually. Free real estate is never a problem. Is that you can take from these purples, or from these reds rather, and then again, if you had done the stuff over here, that would be a 5-chain. You could actually even extend it further by moving this purple up and taking it from this yellow. Again, when you're about to push, just look at the adjacent petals, be like, is there, or not even adjacent in all directions, you're about to push right, just look to your left. I see a red. Is there a red somewhere in this line? If there is, go for it. Again, stuff that maybe you saw it and you were just like, you know, that's too slow or something. It is what it is. So this board, again, like the bottom, the right side is now kind of checkerboarded, and this is like not a great position to be in. Alright, you find this chain, which is pretty good. Right. So in this case, I mean, this is just like line up pairs, right? Yeah, mainly that, yeah. This move is almost always going to be the best move here. Just line up pairs. You can get rid of this blue or just take from here, and then it'll look like, you know, a nice 3-chain or something like that. Even, you know, better if you can, like, try and get these reds involved, maybe something like that. A lot of stuff. I mean, it's good. Like, it's certainly very close to my style, so I can't get mad about it. But for Arlet specifically, you want to hit him big time, over and over and over. That's kind of the thing here. This chain is still good. It does a lot. Actually, that chain was maybe better than the one I suggested. I didn't see everything that was going to connect here. Takes the boomerang, yep. Well, okay. So here's the thing, and I was talking with Rune about this actually earlier today. But I think that when it comes to that kind of style, again, I like to use that kind of style. Like, I don't do constant 5 chains unless I'm really not under pressure. And the reason why is that I am trying to lock down my opponent's best move, which is grow. Grow is the best move in the game. Let's get that out of the way. And if you can stop your opponent from growing, then you can stop your opponent from putting together big stuff, and you can stop them from just doing a lot of, whatever it is that they do. That's, I think, the sort of aim of the constant pressure 2-3 chain style is to get 2 sets of garbage spawners on the opponent's board. And once that happens, then you can start building your advantage after that. Again, I mean, you're saying it doesn't work if you get hit with anything substantial. Is that true? I mean, it doesn't. It depends. That I wouldn't say it doesn't work. But if your opponent can pump out much bigger damage than you, only somewhat slower, things get kind of hairy. So anyway, this part of your board now is kind of useless. The thing that you would have to do to actually make this useful at all is get these yellows out of here, and then from one side or the other take this double boomerang kind of shape. But otherwise, you do have stuff going on up here. So in this case, blue over, green up, yellow, put this green down. And then you move this yellow out of the way. Now you have a 4 chain over there. It starts to dig into your wall. So that's another thing about checkerboarding, is that the other thing about checkerboarding is that if it's sort of along the wall of your work area, checkerboarding can become links if you remove stuff, right? So you have this red, and then you have something in the middle, and you have another red. So if you move this yellow out of the way, suddenly this is a chain link, basically. You can also do the same thing over here. You move these out of the way, and then you have a 2 chain. So you might see me do this a bunch. This is, I think, my primary use case for straight chains is basically shoving a chain into the wall of what I'm working with, and then just evacuating petals until I find another link, basically. Is it, it might make things messy in other places, but I think that if you're, you have all this checkerboarding down here, you're going to have to dig through it eventually. So finding ways to make parts of this work into your chain is always good. So yeah, this doesn't work. Or it does work, actually. You're taking it from the other side. Okay, that's good. I think you were looking for specifically taking it from this yellow here, which is why you hesitated. That was also what I was looking for, and I was like, but then you're right, it's fine. Technically speaking, the extension here looks like this, and then you take it from this red. Doesn't really matter. It's fine the way it is. I think you might have thought that was going to take the purples as well. That's just corner cases stuff. You'll get used to that. You'll get used to the cursed direction. Not a bad Arlet. That was 150. Alright. See, I said the dry run took a long time, but here we are an hour in, and we're only 6 stages. Okay, Lily 1. Alright, so now we're getting into the part where our style works the best, which is against somebody who literally stops moving every time you hit them. Okay, this I think is opener stuff, right? Reds, purples, blues. Just push all this stuff up against the wall. 1, 2, 3. And then push this here. 1, 2, 3. This is a 5-chain. I mean, a good Arlet is sub 2. Like not even like a stupendous Arlet. Like just Arlet, if you're playing fast enough, will take about 2 minutes. If you don't like really mash them out. So otherwise, like this opener, like you're growing a lot. You're not really finding a ton of stuff. Like this isn't enough to counter Lily, so it's not great. Okay, this board, I think I had a lot to say about this board when I was thinking about it the last time. Okay, so if you want to extend down here, then I think what your move is you move this yellow down and you move this purple over so that you have this shape. And then this green is also, of course, connected to these blues, so you have like a lot going on here. The reds or the purple will set that off. You could even try and like move this yellow out of the way, get the purple over there. Yeah, this board has like this board is absolute gem. You get this. Suddenly you have these blues now, because if you move this purple down, then these blues are free. So you just like take this blue, double push it like this, and then you get the blues into the yellows, into the reds, into this purple, into these greens. Take this. You could even move this red over, and like this stuff, like good God, there's a ton going on here. And you know, even if you saw it at the end there, the greens would even come into play. And I think all of this would be compact is the thing. So you could take all 16 turns to set this up, and this would be like a board clearer. This would be like this. There's 25 damage sitting on this board right now, basically, and it's not even a slow 25. And once you do that, Lillibri is out. Done. I mean, this isn't a bad chain though. It returns damage. I think Lillibri decides to block for a little while, which is not the worst thing, because she just wastes a bunch of resources. This is good. Okay. So I think this I think you broke this is kind of like a T-split, right? You broke it by using this green for the boomerang. But you did actually have like a reasonable way of extending this, right? So this is the staircase again. You move this green that you're about to grow in over, and now you have a staircase. The greens, yellows, purple, red. You could even try and get another yellow in there if you want, but then the main thing is you have these purples. You move this green out of here, you actually move it down to the bottom, and then this becomes a V-split as well. And then the greens take these reds, maybe even this, like, is the idea. It's again, like, this formation here is very powerful. Anything you do with it is going to be like insane. You still take a lot. Again, like that board, it was hard to like really make a mess out of that board. Just stuff like that, you know. This yellow can be taken as a 3-chain then. Kind of does stuff with this half of your board. Okay, this is reasonable. That's fine, although I'm not really sure what you're looking for there. But at this point, yeah, I mean, the name of the game is just send stuff, right? It doesn't even matter if it's like good stuff at this point, because Lillibri is not able to send anything. If you see this board, there's literally no part of this board where there are 3 petals of the same color, right? So she cannot send stuff to you. Yeah, so I think that it's the difference is less about like whether or not you're like, oh, this is good enough, I'll cut it off. It's more like you're basically constantly doing this trade-off, right? Of is the extra time worth it? I think that's the thing that you should more be thinking about. And it's something, again, that I'm working on, because I think that I often err on the side of it not being worth it when I shouldn't. So that, I think, is kind of the big problem with strategies like us, is that we take it too like conservatively when we look at that decision. But I think a lot of this, again, you're playing against much slower people here. So you have less to worry about in terms of pressure, and you can really just kind of go all out if you think about it. Again, this board, nothing going on here. Like a 2-chain. That's it. And it's a 3 moves away 2-chain where this move or this green is gonna get grown in. So I don't even know if the AI sees it. Anyway, from this board, just instead of moving that green, there's your 3-chain. I think that's faster than others ways of putting that together. It's fine. At this point, again, you're just trying to do stuff. You don't have to worry about it. Lillibri is, of course, the person who that kind of style works the best against. So this one, grow, kick this, and then just take that. Like, you're going to want to grow anyway. This gives you not only the yellows that you're looking for, but also gives you these greens. The other thing that you'll learn, if Rune were here, he would probably be making noise about this as well. Do not be afraid of materials. Grow to 63. It will make you a better player. We'll grow to 63 when your board's not completely checkerboarded. But otherwise, just go for it. Okay. Good opener. So you land garbage, which is, of course, great. Okay, so you didn't need to move that yellow out of the way, but that's good. That's fine. From here, 1, 2, and then move these things down here. You can try and do something also where you move these petals out of the way and then take it from here. I don't... Love it. But you always gotta, alright, yeah, in this position, definitely. Push these things down, get this green out of the way. That's where you want to be, I think, on this particular... Yeah. Alright, well, it killed the red, so that's fine. But... Okay. Yup. That's good. That's great. Fantastic. Okay. You have a lot of stuff going on here. Again, if you have checkerboarding, removing links gives you... removing petals gives you links. In this case, where does this get you? It actually... You move this over, maybe this, and then that. Some stuff like that could... well, you'd have to also pull this stuff out and then take it like this, I think. Maybe this, and then that. I don't know. There's some stuff here. But I think the most important thing to realize is that this over here can be a yeah. The sandwich where? In this board? Or in the last... Or in this board? This board, maybe? Were you talking about this sandwich down here? Row 7 greens, like this. Wait, there's no green here. On row 7. Maybe I'm missing something. Hang on. Oh, this one. You're talking about this sandwich. You take this and you move it over. Yeah, that's not insane. In this case, I guess I wasn't super looking for that. But that is definitely useful. So where would that leave you? You'd probably have to get this blue over here. I think you would have to grow in before doing this. And the reason why you'd have to grow in before really putting that together is that you want... Well, okay, you don't need to grow in. Blue this way, Okay. And then... Oh, but then you don't have a... Alright, you have to move this green, and then you move these over. It's still not too slow, I would say. It's still, like, good to do, because all these moves are very close to each other. The issue is, what do you follow up with there? I think that if you'd left this blue over here, then you'd be in a relatively good position. You move this yellow up, and then this yellow becomes your trigger. And then it goes yellow, blue, sandwich, another blue, purple. Maybe you even find this green when you're taking that yellow out. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 chain? These are all just like one move, that's the thing. Like, adding these extensions is like one move a lot of the time. This, I think, was just, you know... If you're gonna do this, just free real estate. What else is there to say about this board? Oh yeah, you have another one of these down here. In this case, yeah, you can actually just add this on to this chain by 1, 2. That's just, you know, straight up sandwich, extra link, plus 4 petals. Good times. Otherwise, I mean, that's fine. Could you have gotten that extra blue in? Yeah, but it was like one move for an extra, like, 1 petal, so it doesn't really matter. I don't really know what you were going for here. If you were going to go for a 2-chain with a 3, then you just had it right here. The other, if you wanted to make extensions off of this, I think what that would look like is you get this yellow in there, you push this yellow there, and then this green goes in there. That's not compact, but it should be fast enough that it doesn't matter. You might be able to add an extra link by pushing these greens. But, like, this doesn't really do a lot for you, right? Okay. I don't know if you saw that, but it was good. Let's see. You move this out of the way. Actually, you don't want to do this. Okay. I think this is what you want to do here. 1, 2, and then you can double push this, and then you get this all as one chain. You could even take that first. That's pretty good. 1 or 2 moves for an extra +1. So yeah, that doesn't work because of corner cases. I'm sure you know that. But, you know, in the middle of the game is... None of it matters. You got the double. You got the overgrow stock combo. Alright, 125 is not a bad time for Lily, too. You got that 104k. Serious business. Alrighty. Let the text run out just to make sure that everyone understands. That everyone understands what's going on. There it is, folks. Or, well, actually, just kidding. Not number 3. I can't write. Number 4. There we go. I haven't seen this on speedrun.com yet. So, I don't know if you've submitted it yet, but you should. Fantastic run. Yeah, it is just like, you know, again, the thing that I've always said about this is, like, even I think when you're playing, even if you've already made decisions, I think your brain is still kind of looking for stuff that you could have done. And seeing stuff one step too late... Oh, okay, it hasn't been verified. Seeing things one step too late is the first step to seeing them right on time. Always remember that. So if you do find yourself like looking at a board and like doing something and then being like, oh, you know, damn, I could have added this +1 here. I could have taken the shape here for more petals. I could have done this other stuff. Just remember, next time you do it, you'll probably find it. You know, or maybe not next time, but the time after that, something like that. I don't think I need to look at your credits. I can look at your credits if you want. We can just let it play out, whatever.